Number 10, Lad vs Henchman Baccano. If there's one thing that Lad Russo enjoys, it's killing. He's a gangster with no fear of death, and gets off at the sensation that comes with getting embroiled in a good old bloodbath. So taking out Huey's armed goon was pretty much Christmas.
Do you even know any of these boxes I'm talking about?
Despite being barehanded, the psychotic assassin was easily able to overcome his targets, taking all manner of pleasure in punching one of them to death until his white suit was stained with every shade of red, laughing the whole way.
We thought we heard machine guns and we come to find you like this? What the hell's going on?
Number 9, Izayoi vs Laius and Algol. Problem children are coming from another world, aren't they? And this is what happens when you try to rig a gift game. Being the arrogant prick that he is, the leader of Perseus refused the chance to provide a fair fight against the no-names, and as such chose to summon a former demon lord in his stead. As expected, this totally backfired, on account that Izayoi just so happens to be a problem child who is second to none when it comes to laying on the beatdowns, where he not only smashed apart Algol, but gave Laius a well-earned smack for good measure. Number 8, Todoroki vs Sero, My Hero Academia. That moment when you thrash someone so badly that the audience starts chanting "good job" to the loser just for taking part. While his plan was pretty on point, no amount of tape was going to protect Sero from getting blasted with an avalanche's worth of ice, to the point where it nearly froze the whole stadium. While it's doubtful he could have won against the icy hot prodigy, it's just unlucky Sero happened to face off against Todoroki while he was still in a negative headspace. Number 7, Kite vs Yunju, Hunter x Hunter. While one can't help but be misty-eyed at the memory of this hunter's demise at the paws of Pitto, there's no forgetting that Kite was something of a beast on the battlefield, capable of slaughtering his way through any Chimera Ant underlings that stepped up to the plate. Case and point, when this centaur tried to have a crack at him, only to end up with a hole in the head. You know, you're trash when you get taken out by a bad spin. Number 6, Melodus vs Frin, The 7 Deadly Sins. On an average day, even at his cheeriest, the Dragon Sin of Wrath would have zero issue in taking out this stand-in for the 10 Commandments. So you can imagine just how screwed this demon was when he was faced with a Melodus who had returned from purgatory with a much darker disposition. He was more than happy to break Frin down bit by bit before breaking his body in half with a single uppercut. It's so brutal that it actually makes you wince for the giant spiky purple sludge man. Number 5, Subaru vs Julius, ReZero starting life in another world. This is just painful to watch, and one that could have all been avoided if Subaru had just wised up and realized he was out of his league by challenging an actual Knight of the Kingdom, while the only power he had to his name was being able to die over and over again. This didn't serve him too well when up against a master swordsman like Julius.
その身でもって痛感できたはずだ。君が侮辱し軽んじた騎士というものがどういうものかを。
Even when he tried tossing sand in the knight's face, all it got Subaru was an extra dollop of humiliation when he got his ass severely served in front of Emilia. Ouch.
君は無力で救いがたい。あの方のそばにいるべきではない。
Number 4, Ainz vs Foresights. Overlord. We already knew Bone Daddy Ainz was nigh untouchable.
Child's play.
He can nullify it?
By himself, he was able to wipe out a magical religious sect, as well as one of his own uber-powered brainwashed generals, thanks to his near limitless amount of spells, magical items, and absurd in-game stats. There was no way a small group of wannabe thieves could stand up to something like that. Yep, no chance.
You're giving yourself far too much credit. The truth of the matter is that attacks from weaklings like you aren't strong enough to even scratch me.
Which is kind of tragic, since compared to someone like Clementine, this group of misfits did not deserve the gruesome ends granted to them by the Sorcerer King.
I assure you, for those who dare to march into Nazarick, death is not a punishment, but a release from true suffering, as you'll soon see.
Number 3, Gaolang vs Kaneda, Kengan Ashura. In any other tournament, these two wouldn't even be allowed to be pitted against each other for the staggering difference in their strength. On one side, you've got the Thai god of war, a boxing legend whose blows even made the Fang of Metsudo shiver, and then you've got one skinny guy with declining health conditions. While the fight mainly serves to highlight Kaneda's willingness to tussle with the big dogs, it doesn't take more than 5 moves before Gaolang wastes him with just a single punch to the face. Number 2, Saitama vs Bakuzan and Goketsu, One Punch Man. It kind of goes without saying, but anyone, whether they be man or monster, isn't walking away from Saitama in one piece should they decide to throw down. As was the case for these two freaks. While they certainly put Suiryu through his paces and shattered his frail ego, these members of the Monster Association still ended up meeting the same fate as every other would-be villain that's tried to tango with the One Punch Man, and got their bodies splattered over the sidewalk.
ダメだ思い出せねえ。なんだったんだこいつ。
Hell, Goketsu held such little threat, he got wasted off-screen. Number 1, Genkai vs Suzuka, Yu Hakusho. Granny still got it. And by that, we mean the capacity to beat in the faces of anyone who underestimates her.
I know you play by higher standards, but at least give me credit for the nose.
Suzuka learned this the hard way at the Dark Tournament, where Genkai didn't so much defeat him as she did use him like gym equipment. Kicking him across the arena, trampolining on his spine, sending him hurtling into the stadium ceiling, nailing him with 100 blows in the blink of an eye. The poor bastard never saw it coming.
You just don't have what it takes! That's enough.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.